I've already shown you how to cut and reduce spend for interests that you're targeting with your Pinterest advertising campaign that are not performing. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to potentially scale up and increase bid and put more money toward interests that are working. Okay, and I've actually built a calculator for you. It's relatively simple, but it may take a second just kind of understand it at the very beginning. So what we're going to do, like we did before, is head over to ads, click on reporting. We'll get to a dashboard that looks like this. Then we want to open each campaign where we're targeting specific interests. We're going to open those in a new tab. So if you have one, it'll be one. If you have more, then it'll be more. And let's just say we have this one here. Again, I'm covering sensitive data here. That's why I'm not showing the full campaign name. Go ahead, we'll click on that, open in a new tab like we've done here. Okay, and then what we want to do in this case, okay, and you're actually going to run, do this at the same time. You don't have to do this separately from the video that I just created, but this is just kind of another criteria and didn't want to overwhelm you. But you'll do this all kind of at the same time. You'll optimize your campaigns. You don't have to do one step first and the other. You'll do it all kind of together. And what you want to do is look at each ad group or each kind of interest that you're targeting, which is represented by each ad group, and look over the past 30 days. If you have more than 30 days and you want to look at the past 60 days, if you have 3 months or 6 months of data, you still want to look at the past 60 days. So if you have 60 days or more of data, look at the past 60. If you only have 30, look at the past 30. That's pretty much it. And what you want to do is look at the past 30 days to 60 days at any ad group that has at least 50 clicks or more and has generated at least one result. So that could be, your result could be a sale on your website. It could be a subscriber or whatever it might be. Okay, so that's what you're kind of looking for. So in this case, let's just pretend that this top one here, we have 50 clicks, right? This is a newer campaign we don't really have, but I'm going to use this as an example. So let's just pretend we're right at 50 clicks here over the past 30 days. And if we scroll over, okay, with this top ad group here, we're going to scroll over. And we're going to see all the way over, we want to look at the, in this case, total order value, because again, I'm running this for my brand new website. And as you can see from this specific campaign, we've generated about almost $16 in revenue on our Shopify website, okay? So that's great. We want to know kind of how to handle this or what to do with this. And again, it has 26 clicks right now. We're going to pretend like it has 50. So what we're going to do is for every interest, like I just showed you, that has at least 50 clicks and then at least one result, in this case, one sale. So one conversion here, and then we can see here the value of that. Then we want to use this calculator, which I built for you. This is just a Google sheet, really, really simple. And I'll link this below. It's free, and you can recreate it yourself, really easy to do. But what we're going to do is we need some data. So we need our current cost per acquisition, our cost per click, and our target cost per acquisition. Okay, these are the three pieces of data that we need to enter. So let's kind of highlight those in yellow just so you can kind of see those. All right, and I'll show you where to find those. So number one, the easiest cost per click. Let's go ahead and fill this in. Okay, and I'll leave these blank just for us. So cost per click, I'll show you where to find this one. Let's go back to our ad group. Okay, we're gonna look for cost per click. So we're gonna scroll in this row here, looking for our cost per click. And like I said, I know there's a lot of data, but once you get the hang of it, it'll become much faster. Cost per result right now, over the past 30 to 60 days, is 31 cents. Okay, so we're gonna go back here, or it's about 31 cents. You can round up or round down, just as long as it's pretty close. But I like to round either up or down. So there we go, 31 cents, great. Target cost per acquisition. This is something that we need to know. Remember where I talked about your goals and what your goals are worth? So if you need a refresher, go back to the video where I talk about your goals. Again, I said this is what you need to do before you set up any advertising. And if you haven't done that, then now is a good time to go and watch that and do that. But in this case, like I said before, I'm running this specific campaign in each of these ad groups in order to generate more sales on our Shopify website. So we want to get purchases. So let's say, I'm willing to spend $3 to make a sale. Okay, basically what I'm saying is I'm willing to spend $3 in Pinterest advertising cost in order to make one sale on my Shopify site, like one full price sale, okay? So that would mean our cost per acquisition is $3. Remember, acquisition can be different things. So acquisition could be subscriber, you're acquiring a subscriber. It can be acquiring a sale. You're acquiring something of value to you. You determine what the acquisition is, and you determine what your desired cost per acquisition is, or also known as your target cost per acquisition. That's your goal, is to get at that target, okay? Either that or below, right? So that's your kind of your target cost per acquisition, whatever that number is, okay? And then we're going to enter in our current cost per acquisition. So let's go and find our current. So there's our cost per click. Let's keep scrolling for cost per acquisition. There we go. Total cost per acquisition. Okay. And it's in this case, average cost per sale that I've made. In this case, it's $7.97. So we're going to go back to our Google sheet. $7.97. Okay. So our current cost per acquisition is $7.97. Our current cost per click is 31 cents. Our target is $3. So what this calculator does is simply adjust our bid, because what we can see right now is, look, we're currently spending almost $8 per sale. We want to spend $3 per sale. So we're overspending. We're spending too much right now. And like I said, as you can see from this campaign, with this ad group, we only have 26 clicks, right? We need more clicks and more data. But like I said, I'm just pretending that we have 50. So that's probably part of the reason there's still some of those clicks are going to turn into sales here in the next few days, I assume. So because we're spending more than we want to, right, we need to reduce. So our spend is currently up here. Here's our our average cost per click. If we want to get our, our CPA down, we need to get our bid down. Okay, so this is a bid adjustment calculator. That's what we're doing here, is we're adjusting the bid. So basically, our current bid is 31 cents. So now we're going to reduce down to 12 cents a bid, and by reducing that, we're spending less per click, which ultimately should result in more profitable sales in this case. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So in this case, we would go back to our ad group because we're overspending. We need to adjust the bid. Okay, and we need to adjust it to 12 cents. And by the way, if you get, just as a side note, if this number was, I don't know, let's just say this came to 9 cents or 5 cents or something very, very low, less than 10 cents, then in that case you would want to turn off this this ad group because it's not performing, it's not generating sales profitably. Okay, but let's just assume it's above 10 cents. Then what we do in that case is we'll go back to the ad group. We're going to go to the bid here, and we're going to change this to 12 cents and hit save. But I don't want to do that because this is just an example. So we're going to leave that at 34 cents. Oops. Yeah, leave it at 34 cents. They're all 34 cents, so it doesn't matter. So that's what we're going to do here. Okay, so that's number one, all right? And now that was kind of scaling down. On the reverse end, now let's say that our cost per acquisition, right? Let's go back to Pinterest and just pretend now. We're pretending again. Their cost per acquisition, let's say it was $2, okay, which can happen quite often. It's $2, and your target is $3. Now, you have a couple options. You could either leave the cost per click as is because it's generating sales profitably, and that's good, right? So that's great. But the reality is, if you increase your bid, you could actually potentially make more sales, but also at a higher cost, so your profitability could go down. So it could be more revenue at lower profit, or you can just stick with where you are. So it's really up to you. But like I said, there's basically, when your cost per acquisition, when this cell here, or row kind of A, is greater than row C, you need to reduce the bid. And it'll show you right here what the new bid is, okay? But when your cost per acquisition is lower than your target CPA, so your current cost per acquisition is lower than your target cost per acquisition, you can either increase and use this calculator if you want to be more aggressive, if you really want to drive sales, and get closer to your target. Otherwise, if you're like, hey, Summer, I just want to run ads profitably, if this is running profitably, I'm just going to keep it as is, then you can just leave it. So you don't have to. But again, this will depend on your objective. If you recommend what I do, I like to set a target cost per acquisition and try to drive and get as close to that as possible. So what I would do is, in this case, same thing, I would go back. So let's see. So yeah, let's pretend $2 cost per acquisition. Our target is $3. Current cost per click is 31 cents. That means we're going to want to increase our bid, right? Because right now our bid is around, and we're spending around 31 cents a click. If we spend 47 cents a click, that's probably going to get us more sales. It might not be as profitable, but we're going to get more sales, and it's going to be closer to our target cost per acquisition. So I hope that makes sense. I know it's a lot of words that I'm repeating or kind of going around. But in this case, what we would do is almost the exact same thing. It's just kind of the opposite. We're going to, instead of decreasing our bid, we're going to increase it. So 34 cents, I forget what it was, 47 cents is what we're going to increase it to. So we're going to increase to 47 cents, hit save, and that's what we do. Okay, so with this criteria, like I showed you before, the past video, it was only decreasing. With this criteria, you're going to be both increasing potentially and decreasing bids. Again, based on the data that you have in terms of the results. Same idea here. If you're spending money and not getting results, you want to reduce your bid. If you are spending money and getting results, you either want to keep it where it is because it's working, or even increase it a little bit. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, again, you can use this exact calculator here. Or let's just say if you notice that we can see that your cost per acquisition is lower than your target CPA, then what you can do instead of the new bid here is just take your cost per click and multiply by 1.2, basically increasing by 20%. So basically, you may say, hey, Sumner, I don't want to increase my bid from 31 cents to 47 cents because that might be a little bit too aggressive. Again, that's something that I might do with my own. It might be a little bit aggressive for you. If you want to still scale your campaigns but be a little bit more conservative, then what I'd recommend is, again, look at your cost per acquisition target. If your current cost per acquisition is lower than your target, take your cost per click, increase by 20%. Okay, which I've just done here. So 31 times 1.2, or increase by 20%. That's 37 cents is my new bid. Okay, so that's what I would do instead. So anyway, your new bid should be somewhere between 37 cents to 47 cents. Okay, is basically what this is telling you. Or you can leave it as is if you want to kind of focus on profit. So I know that might be a lot. You're like, well, Summer, what should I do? If you're not really sure what to do of your goals, I would recommend kind of increasing and getting closer to your target, but being a little bit more conservative and increasing by 20% then, in that case, which I just showed you how to do. So instead of kind of using this new bid here, I just create kind of another cell down here, equals times 1.2. And again, do this once every week. Look at the past 30 to 60 days worth of data. Look at every interest that you're targeting, every ad group that has at least 50 clicks and at least one result or at least one sale. It could have more, but that's great, but at least one. And then plug in the data here. For everything that is you're spending money, every interest that you're spending money on but not making sales, you're going to decrease. For everything that you're spending money on and making sales profitably, you're going to increase or keep it the same. That's basically what you're going to do, and hopefully that makes sense. And in the end, think about it. If you do this every week, you're basically, you throw all this money into Pinterest strategically and everything like I've just shown you how to do. You've collected all this data, and now you have this kind of big ball or this big mess, and you're looking at the mess, and you're like, okay, I'm wasting money here, reduce it. I'm making money here, increase. And if you keep doing that every week, reducing wasteful spend, increasing profitable spend, your campaigns will statistically become profitable more and more every single week, slowly over time. And that's why I said a lot of times it may take 30 days or 60 days or sometimes even like 3 months to really see some really incredible results from your campaigns. Although you can absolutely see results even sooner than that, of course, as well. It just depends. And I'd rather err on the side of pessimism than being overly optimistic, okay, and be happily surprised. So I hope that makes sense. Again, I'm going to have this calculator in the available to you. I might write a little bit more detail on the calculator. So if the calculator doesn't look identical to what you see here, I've added a little bit more detail just to make it very, very clear and easy to use. So don't freak out, it'll be the exact same thing, but I might add, some more kind of text to make it a little bit easier to use. And of course, if you have any questions about this or anything else, let me know in the Q&A section. And let's go ahead and get into the next video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to optimize your Pinterest keyword campaigns, and this is going to follow a very similar process to what we did in terms of optimizing our interests campaigns. So a lot of overlap, but some slight differences. So I'll be a little bit quicker here because it's going to be a lot of the kind of the same material. But if you have any questions, of course, as we go along, let me know in the Q&A section. So without further ado, first, what we're going to do this every week, we're going to go ahead and log into our ads reporting dashboard. So again, you go to the ads tab in the top kind of center, click on the drop down, click on reporting, and that should take you to a page that looks like this with all of our campaigns. So once we're here, we're going to open all of our keyword campaigns in a new tab. Okay, if you only have one, then it'll just be one. If you have more, then it's multiple tabs. So we'll go ahead, let's say it's this one, we go ahead and open this in a new tab, and it takes us here to the ad group section. As you can see here, the ad groups. And this is where we spent most of the time with our interest campaigns. But what we want to do with our keyword campaigns, actually, and this is part of the reason I separate them out, is we want to go ahead and click on keywords. So it'll say keywords for one campaign in this example. Go ahead and click on that. And that's going to take us to the keyword section. And unfortunately, I've had to kind of minimize some of the columns here to hide some of the sensitive data. But it'll look very, very, very similar to this, almost identical. And what you want to do first is go ahead and, well, first, if you don't already, we should go to table, select performance. Once you've done that, organize link clicks in descending order, so from greatest to least. And you want to make sure that your date range is at least the last 30 days, if not the last 60 days, okay? And we've already kind of covered that. So last 30 days, if you have more, then definitely last 60 days. And basically what we're going to look for is, and I chose this campaign specifically, is we want to look for any keyword, okay? And we can see the keyword actually here in the keywords column. I've kind of hidden it a little bit, but you can find it here in the keywords column. Any keyword that has 50 clicks or more, but 0 results, we want to reduce the bid to 11 cents. If our bid is already 11 cents, then we want to turn it off and archive it, all right? So here's what we're going to do. So, okay, we organize in descending order by gross link clicks, or just, link clicks. And we see that this keyword particularly is gobbling up all of the link clicks, all of the impressions. This is actually a mistake I made when setting up this campaign. I made this actually a broad keyword, and I shouldn't have, and that's part of the reason this happened, but it's good for example purposes. So 50 clicks. Let's see if we got any sales. Okay, so our goal with this campaign is to generate sales on our website. Look at that. Total order value, 0. So let's say over the past 30 days, we generated over 50 clicks with this keyword, and it didn't generate any sales. So 50 times someone clicked on this and no sales. That's a very low converting keyword. We're wasting money on this keyword. So what we want to do is, first, we want to reduce the bid to 11 cents if we haven't already done that. If your bid, which was in this case, was already kind of close to 11 cents, maybe 15 or 12 or 11 cents, what I recommend in that case, because your bid is already so low, is to just turn it off. Okay? Because let's say if you're bidding at 15 cents and then you reduce it to 11 cents, it's not really a big difference. It's probably not going to have a big difference in performance. What's going to have a better impact, and what you should do is go ahead and click on the keyword. Okay? And what you can do is, well, actually, that's an act. I've already archived it, but we can click on this one right here. Okay? And then we can archive that keyword, okay, which basically just kind of turns off that keyword. So that's kind of what we can do. Really, really simple, and that's going to help you kind of immediately cut spend on keywords that are getting clicks, but they're not converting. For whatever reason, people are clicking. The offer isn't enticing. Maybe it's just kind of the wrong keyword that was misleading. Whatever it might be, it's not performing well, so we're reducing that. Okay, so that's number one, very similar to what we've done before. Then number two, the second step that you want to do is, again, look for any keywords that have at least 50 clicks or more. And then again, we're going to look to see, and then look at the order value in this case, or your total conversions. And let's say in this case that our keyword did generate results. Then we're going to do what we've done before similarly with our interests and use our handy dandy calculator. Okay. So again, we're going to look at cost per acquisition just like we did before. Our target is 3, and let's say our current is 5. Again, we don't have the actual data, so I'm just using a hypothetical here. But let's say we went through here. Okay. We look at this total cost per acquisition. Let's say this was 5. Okay. And our target is 3. So it's 5, target is 3, and let's say our average cost per click is 31 cents. Right? That means in this case, since if we had 0 sales, then we would automatically reduce to 11 cents. Okay, that's automatic. But if we did get a sale, and in this case it's not profitable because our goal is 3, and currently we're spending 5 per sale per acquisition. That means we're actually going to automatically choose 11. There needs to be some adjusting there, and we're going to adjust. We're originally at 31 cents. We want to set it to 19 cents. all right, in this case. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back here, okay, we're going to go to the bid, there it is, the bid column, okay, and we're going to set this to, what was it, 19 cents, okay, set it to 19 cents. Otherwise, this is where you could actually, you know, change it to 11 cents, as I said before, whatever you want to change the bid to, and I've archived it, so it doesn't really matter in this case, but this is where you would change the bid. And then again, just like before, let's say that you had a cost per acquisition of $2. That means your cost per acquisition is lower than your target. That means that you are, even below, your kind of profitable target. So you can either choose to increase the cost per click to this number if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, or like I showed you before, we can increase by 20%. So that's kind of increasing with being a little bit conservative. So we're going to multiply this by 20%. So that's, we would originally, our cost per click is 31 cents. If we want to be a little bit more conservative, maybe increase it to 37 cents. Or you can just leave it as is. If you see this happens, if you see your cost per acquisition is lower than your target, then whatever your target is kind of in your mind or on your sheet of paper that you've written it down, then you just leave it as is because, hey, it's working really well. Let's just keep it, let it keep running. And the reality is, as long as you're just, if you keep cutting, unprofitable keywords and unprofitable interests from your campaigns and just, leaving the profitable keywords and targets and interests keep running as they are, ultimately you will, your campaigns will become more and more profitable because basically you kind of think about it like if you make this much profit, and you have this many kind of expenses, and you keep reducing your expenses, right? Your profit's going to be greater than your expenses in the end, and that's kind of the goal. Is we want to keep kind of reducing. So you can either kind of do both, or just focus on cost in terms of the reducing. So if you have clicks but no sales, if you have clicks but unprofitable sales, those are two big things that you want to make sure you're reducing. That alone can have a dramatic improvement to your Pinterest advertising campaigns and ultimately improve the profitability. So this is you're manipulating at the keyword level, and again, each of these, okay, right here, each of these rows is a different keyword, and you can see the match type, broad, phrase, etc. And this was my mistake. I entered these as broad, and I shouldn't have. And that's part of the reason in this case, it was very, very unprofitable. So that's where you want to kind of manipulate. And again, doing this, you want to do once a week. Look at the past 60 days. Do it with your keywords and your interests. Really shouldn't take that much time, even with a large number of campaigns. And these small changes can have a big impact over time. And like I said, the more that you do this, the better and better your performance should ultimately be, and ultimately see some really great results from this. I'm going to have a recap of all of the kind of criteria that I've covered. And I just want to make very clear that in case I'm always testing, and if I find new and better criteria to optimize your Pinterest advertising campaigns with, I'll be updating the next article. So you can find the article, it'll be, I believe, in the next basically lecture here. And I'll have a little note there that says, hey, this is the most up-to-date. So if you just see that there's a disconnect between which there shouldn't be anything major. If it's major, I'll make a new video. But any kind of minor disconnect between what you see in the article, the written article that I'll have for you, and these videos, just know that that's going to be the most up-to-date. And of course, I'll make an announcement, all of that as well. So it's very, very clear. And of course, as always, if there's any questions at all, let me know. I'll try to get back with you within 48 hours as quickly as I can. And ultimately get you on your way to having very, very profitable and successful Pinterest advertising campaigns. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the next lecture.